going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Once again, it's your favorite time of the week, your favorite 2 hours. Excuse me, favorite about an hour and 45 minutes. Your favorite for your favorite time of the week is the Alphabets Football Talk Show. I am your host, Marcus the Alphabets. How y'all doing this evening? I hope everybody's good. And as usual, I'd like to introduce my lovely co-host, Steelers extraordinaire, Miss Ramona Diehard Die. What's going on?
Hey, Mark.
How you doing this evening? I see over there you got the Troy Polamalu. You going back in the closet, huh? Going in the closet, pulling the classics out, huh? Next thing I'm gonna see it.
Thought it was time.
It's that time again, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody's doing all right. Please like and share the show. Sorry, we're a little bit behind. Technical difficulties beyond our control, but we're going to try to give you the best show we can and put some information out to you, disseminate some information. Please like and share the show. So as usual, we usually start off with the news and notes, and just what a week. I'm telling you, like, I don't know if it's because I was starving for football, starving for sports, but just some of the games that I've seen, it's just been incredible. But one of the things about the game is we've seen a lot is the injuries. You know, it's just really sad. The players not being able to have OTAs, not being able to have training camp, not being able to really mesh together. It's kind of, everybody just kind of went from wondering if we were going to have a season to playing live fire football games. And we're seeing a lot of really good players. I don't know if I've ever seen as many ACL tears ever as long as I've been watching football. You look at guys like, Saquon Barkley and Jared McCoy, Nick Bosa, see some of the guys on this list. I mean, it's basically becoming a war of attrition. It even more so than regular seasons. I think it's going to be whoever's the healthiest at the end. It's always like that, but even more so now. Who has the depth to survive catastrophic injuries? You better be 2 or 3 deep. You better have some players on your practice squad that you can call up with the expanded practice squad. You better have some players over there that can come in and contribute, because I honestly think that you're going to see more, and I'm not wishing it. I just think, you can train all you want. You can lift weights. You can run, but it's not the same as football. Actually, it's not the same as getting hit. Is there any injury on here, Mona, that really kind of sticks out to you that just kind of hits you a little bit?
Well, I mean, not really. My biggest thing is, we talked about this when we were doing like the different division shows. My idea is, we talked about, the offense always has an advantage over the defense, even after you've had a training camp and preseason. Generally, your offenses have that advantage for the first 2-3 weeks. Now with no off season or no preseason, no actual true training camp, we're starting to see that even on the offense, there's not really even the offensive advantage in this season already. We've got all these injuries happening, hand over fist. I am thankful that the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't had the injuries they started out with last year. We're relatively healthy for that part, for the most part. So, but yeah, I mean, these injuries are key. We know for a fact that they're mainly because of, the no training camps, conditioning.
No training camp.
Yeah, no conditioning. Yeah. Our conditioning coaches, we understand that these players haven't been able to do the conditioning that it takes to play a football season. We usually don't start seeing these type injuries until midway through the season, and we start seeing these injuries piling up. Now these injuries are piling up at the beginning of the season, and we always have some injuries at the beginning of a season, but not like we have now. I mean, you look at this list, and I'm sure there's probably more injuries that haven't been reported. So
yeah,
I
mean, this would. Well, it's usually you see these injuries pop up at the preseason games. So now there are no preseason. Just hope these guys, I hope some of these guys. I don't wish injury on anybody, but it really sucks when you see some of your favorite players. You see a guy. I feel so bad for like Saquon Barkley, because the guy he's immensely talented, and they're all talented. You got to have some talent to get to that level. But I mean, this guy is, extremely, extremely talented. I mean, the top two the people that they say probably Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley are maybe your two best backs in the league. I mean, and even Christian McCaffrey, he's out for a little bit with a high ankle sprain. He'll be back. I do like the way that they have the new injured reserve where you can go on injured for reserve for 3 or 4 weeks and call people up from the practice squad. I hate back IR, which was 8 weeks. I mean, that's half the season. Or you went on, season-ending IR, and that's it. So I like the fact that they've added this, 3 or 4 week injured reserve where these guys they can get back on the field. So I wish everybody recovery and some of these guys able to come back, and play this year. And the guys who have season injury like Nick Bosa, where he's back healthy next year, him and Saquon Barkley. So we have the unbeatens here, and I'm looking at this list. You got 8 unbeatens right now. 8 out of the 32 are unbeaten. And I was debating with guys in the chat room.
I'm grinning like a Cheshire cat here because my Steelers are still on this list.
Look, and we when we did the division by division analysis, I think me and you both agreed. I still don't think Ben Roethlisberger gets the props that he deserves. Every time you talk about the greatest quarterbacks playing in this era here, you hear about the Brady, and you hear about the Breeze, and you hear about Aaron Rodgers, but you don't really hear about Ben Roethlisberger. People forget this guy is a 2-time Super Bowl champion. I think he's I think he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, we can have a debate about that. Some people may not, but I'm not surprised that the Steelers but what we saw them do on defense last year. The only thing to me that was really missing was they couldn't score points. Put that slide back up for me, because I got into a little debate with some people, and as I'm affectionately known as the Bills hater. Is there any team on this list that you're surprised as 2-0?
No, I mean, I think that, yeah, all right, I'll go with the Chargers. Although, didn't they just get? I thought Chargers got beat. Didn't it? What are they doing on this list? Because didn't Kansas City beat them?
Where are the Chargers at?
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, sorry.
That's the Rams.
Rams.
That's the Rams. Yeah, I was like,
I see that LFC and I automatically think Chargers.
Yeah. That's the Rams right there. So,
right, so Rams, that kind of shocks me. The Chicago Bears kind of shocks me. But the rest of them I could go with because, and maybe the Cardinals, because I didn't think they had the defense, and I think it's still going to be strength of schedule at the beginning of the season. I know that some of the teams that are winning these games, they haven't played anybody yet, really. I mean, but they're playing the games that's in front of them, and they've won them. So I'm giving them credit. They're undefeated right now. So I'm just tickled to death to see my Steelers undefeated.
Well, you look at some of these teams. You look at like the Raiders and the Steelers. They were 8. I think y'all were both 8-8 last year, and y'all barely missed out. And this season with the 7th playoff spot, you get in there this year. So I'm a little surprised with the Bears. I'm a little, contrary to what everybody would think. I'm not surprised that the Buffalo Bills are 2-0. I just don't think they played anybody yet. I think the meat of their schedule's coming up, and I've shout out to my boy Ethan Tweedy. Me and him and Ace, we go back and forth because they just swear that I'm just the biggest Bills hater. But I'm just interested to see what they can do with Aaron Donald this week, and we're going to get to that in a little bit, making our predictions about the games. But I'm not. I called it at the beginning. I called that the Cardinals would be good this year, and I think that they finally have given Kyler Murray some weapons, and their defense was okay. And now with the injuries, I mean, the 49ers are in bad shape. They're in really bad shape with I just feel bad for Nick Bosa, and I don't think Deebo Samuel's played, and Mostert is out, and Kittle's out this week. They didn't really have a whole bunch of receivers to begin with, and then you start having Ayuk, their first round pick. They Solomon Thomas is out. I mean, they are really hurting with injuries over there, and I don't know how that's going to play out. It's not looking good for them, and it's always tough when you go to the Super Bowl. A lot of times with the Super Bowl loser, they come back that next year. It's not hard. It's hard to go back to back. It's hard to go back to the Super Bowl, and some of these teams, they don't even make the playoffs. So good luck with those guys. So as you know, last night we had the Thursday night game. We had a barn burner last night. We had the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Miami Dolphins. And, I say this all the time about Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick is who I think he is. He is who we think he is. He's going to come out, and there's some games, and he's going to play, and you're going to be like, oh, my gosh, man, this guy should be – what? Why is this guy a superstar? And he will come out, and he will play great. He'll run around. He'll make some plays. He'll throw some touchdowns, and he'll make some incredible throws. And then he'll come back the next week, and he'll wet the bed. And last night we saw Ryan Fitzmagic. He played a lights-out game. This kid that they got, the running back, Myles Gaskin, he played a good game. Gesicki, the tight end, he played a good game. The defense looked good. And a lot of people were excited the first game when the Jags, when they beat the Colts. And a lot of people thought, oh, my gosh, these guys, they might do something. The Jags who I thought they were too. I think they're a couple of years away. I think they need to put some more around Gardner Minshew. He has some moxie, but they don't really have a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. I don't believe that they do. DJ Chark didn't play last night. They got rid of – I like the kid Washington, the running back. He's pretty nice. They felt good enough about him to let Leonard Fournette just walk. So, but I think they're a couple of draft pieces away from really being able to contend over there. And, I don't know what it is on Thursday night. It was a pretty entertaining game. I know some people were probably watching basketball, but it was a fairly entertaining game. So congratulations to the Dolphins on winning that game. 1-1 now. No, 1-2. I think they're 1-2. 1-2. So, good luck to them in the AFC East, and we'll see how they do going forward.
Dolphins are 0-2. They didn't win their first game, did they?
That's what I'm saying. This is week 3. They're 1-2. 2. They're 1-2. They won last night.
Right.
They were 0-2 and then they won. They're 1-2. So
I need to watch the game because I don't have NFL Network. So
they were 0-2. They won their first game last night. So congratulations to them, and we'll see what they do. So we're gonna start doing our picks for this week, and here we go. Probably one of the most anticipated games of the week, and I say that very sarcastically. The WFT. I always have to say that really slowly because we are on ACC Airways. The Washington football team, the WFT, versus the Cleveland Browns. Last week, the Browns looked great. They've had 10 days to get their things together. They played last Thursday, so they had 10 days off. They'll have had 10 days off. And Baker Mayfield showed up. Odell Beckham Jr. showed up. Chubb, their offense was firing on all cylinders. But that Washington defensive line, and I don't just give props just to give props. I think that Washington defensive line, I think Washington may have the best defensive line in the league. I really do believe that. All those first-round picks over there, you get Chase Young and Montez Sweat and Kerrigan and those two Alabama boys in the middle. They may have the best defensive line in the league. I think they get after Baker Mayfield and force him to make some mistakes. But I don't see Washington offensively having enough firepower to be able to keep up with Cleveland. So I think Cleveland goes. I think and it's at home, even though the dog pound won't be there in numbers. I'm sure that there'll be a few of them there, not their normal contingent of dog pound. But I got the Cleveland Browns winning this game. I think Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt show up, and they're able to run the ball, and Baker's able to make enough plays. So I'm gonna take the Cleveland Browns on this one here. I'm gonna say 21-10.
well, I actually have Cleveland winning this one too. Although I fell for the Jacksonville thing, and I did take Jacksonville in my pick'em league. An hour before that game started, I told my son, I said, I really want to take Miami because I really think Miami is going to just kick the ever-loving crap out of Jacksonville. I think that Fitzpagic's going to have a heck of a game. And I didn't change it. I should have changed it. It was an hour before the game started, so I could have changed it at that point. And Gary was laughing. He said, well, I took Jacksonville anyway. And so later on that night, he said, I'm really glad you didn't change that, Mom. I was like, well, but I think Cleveland's going to win this one. I think that at home against Washington, and granted, I know, but I also know what kind of defense Cleveland Browns have got. They do have a good defense.
Yeah.
And they have a good offense as long as that running game keeps them alive, because I don't trust Baker Mayfield. I'm sorry.
Well, if you saw him last week, and that was against Cincinnati, who he played definitely matters. But I don't think Washington's going to be able to keep up with him offensively. And I just think eventually that run game, that two-headed monster with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, I just think it's too much. I just think they wear him out. So moving on to the next game, Las Vegas at New England. Look. The Raiders, Mike Mayock and John Gruden, they're putting together a little team over there. Shout out to Donovan Samuels. I know that's his squad. The Raiders are putting together a little bit of something, and I think we talk about the Ezekiel Elliott's and the Nick Chubbs and the Derrick Henrys, Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey, but people better start recognizing Josh Jacobs. I mean, this kid here, he is running the hell out the ball. They're leaning on him, doing the things that John Gruden likes to do, playing smash mouth football, play action. Derek Carr is able to use that play action. They run the ball, and then he's able to. This kid, look, we talk about, we talk about Kittle and we talk about Kelsey. Look, when you watch these Raiders play, and I don't know how many people. I know a lot of our people here are on the East Coast, and I don't know if you're able to watch them. You'll be able to watch them this week because they are in New England, so you should be able to see that game. But I know a lot of people, because of the time distance, the time difference with the Raiders playing on the West Coast in Vegas. A lot of people don't get a chance to watch these guys. Watch this kid, Darren Waller. Goodness. He's not Kittle. He's not Kelsey. But after those guys there, this kid, he is balling. And Carr looks to him every time he gets in a little bit of trouble. And this kid, he constantly finds himself open. They just extended him. But I like what Cam's doing over there in New England. He's a one-man wrecking crew. He's like on a mission. I think he's really on a mission. I think they extend him. I think they extend him at the end of the year. I do think that they're going to have to put some more pieces around him. But he looks like the Cam of old, where he's running the ball, making plays, shrugging people off, running people over. And I think this week the Raiders at 2-0. I think we lose one of our undefeated teams this week, and I got the Patriots winning this game. And
I don't.
No? Okay.
I'm taking the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid Donovan Samuels has fixed up for everybody. I truly think that I think the Raiders go in and win that game. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be like 28-26, 31-28. I don't really know that there's going to be that many points scored. So I'm going to go 28-24. Something like that.
Yeah, I do believe it'll be a close game. I got the Patriots squeaking it out. So moving on to the next game, your Steelers at the big ketchup bottle, as Boomer likes to say, the Schwami.
Never could stand Boomer. Never could. But yeah. I've always hated Cincinnati Bengals, so
Yeah. But I'm talking about Chris Berman, the ESPN. Shout out Chris Berman.
Love Chris. Can't stand him.
The Swami. You got Houston at Pittsburgh. Look, the Steelers are back. The Steelers are back. James Conner, he seemed to have shook off that little injury that he had. Benny Snell had a little bit of play, but they ran James Conner. When James Conner is on, when he's healthy, this guy, he's one of the better backs in the league. That's just the thing. I think that they need to limit his touch. But the thing about him is he gets better as the game goes on. But he just always seems to be hurt. But when he's healthy,
if he doesn't get hurt, that's the problem. If he doesn't get hurt, he builds up steam and he has a good game.
Yeah.
But I think that I think conditioning again. The conditioning coaches have got their plates full. Trying to get these guys in football shape and keep them healthy. But we all know that, God love him, he always has problems staying healthy. And I honestly think that, his rookie season is up. His contract is up next year. And I don't know if Pittsburgh renews it, and if they do, I think you see him take a pay cut because I think Benny Snell is the future of that football team. I just do. I think they're going to have to get somebody in there, with the lightning quick speed that doesn't have. But he's a lot faster than what people realize. He's just not as fast as Connors.
Yeah.
So, but I'm excited. I think we win this game. I think Houston coming into Pittsburgh, I think we're going to win this game 28-21.
Yeah, I got Pittsburgh winning this game as well. As much as I love Deshaun Watson, I just love the kid. They really did him a disservice by getting rid of Deshaun, getting rid of Hopkins, DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, he looks down the field, and his offensive line's not that good. And then you take away his best weapon, and I mean, he's out there basically doing it by himself. I don't think that they can keep up. I don't think that they can keep up with Pittsburgh. And I'm going to tell you the player that I'm really looking for that I think that has a good game, and we talked about it a little bit before the show began, is this kid, Chase Claypool. I mean, he is the stereotypical Pittsburgh Steelers, big-bodied receiver, physical, played a little bit of tight end in college, and I think you see him and Juju have a really good game. So I'm going to take the Steelers also.
I'm super excited about Chase and that wide receiving core. I think that this wide receiving core is probably one of the better ones we've had for a while. Yeah. I think Chase Claypool, with his height, his size, his fighting ability to go up and get the ball, I think what he does is he takes away any kind of double teaming against any of the other receivers. You've got to double team this guy because Ben and him have already proven they have a chemistry already, and he can keep him long, deep down the field. And when they start doubling him, I think you're going to see Juju, Deontay, and Washington all have big games. Because one thing about it, Ben can be the Tom Brady of throwing the ball around. We know this. We've seen it. And these guys don't seem to have a problem, not getting the ball all the time. Now, Chase Claypool, on the other hand, may change as he gets more attuned to Pittsburgh wanting the ball more. And I think Big Ben can get the ball to him. My biggest issue is Big Ben staying healthy. Big Ben being able to maintain this stature going throughout the season. And the biggest thing is getting our offensive line back together. We've had a few injuries on that O-line, and I'm praying that they can keep him healthy. We know that that's going to be an issue for all the NFL teams going throughout this season. So we have Tennessee in Minnesota.
Can we send the police to arrest Kirk Cousins for robbery? Can we do that? Can we get him for grand larceny and Kirk Cousins is not a good quarterback, and I think it's really starting to show that he's really not that.
Although I don't know how much grit and credit that you're going to get with that, since I recall you saying the same thing about Trubisky, and Bears are 2-0, and the same thing about Josh Allen, and we know where he's at right now in the league as far as passing. But we'll get to that later on in the show.
Look. Here's the thing about it.
I agree with you on
football, the football. I never thought Kirk Cousins was a good quarterback. I thought he was a slightly below average quarterback. I've always thought that, and I'm generally right about things like this. You start seeing certain attributes, and it's just like this guy. That's the guy he is. He's the kind of guy who he's got some of that Ryan Fitzpatrick in him. I just talked about Ryan Fitzpatrick. He looks good for a couple of games. He'll go out there, and they threw all this money at him. Case Keenum had taken him to the playoffs. They felt like they were upgrading with Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins. I mean, he's an all right quarterback, and you gave him a fully guaranteed contract. I think he's been extended since then. It was like $84 million fully guaranteed. 4 years, $84 million fully guaranteed.
So would we say he's serviceable?
Yes. I mean, he is the truest definition of he's not a back. I mean, he's not Blake Bortles, but he's he's a Jag, and I don't mean a Jacksonville Jag. He's just a guy. That's what he is. He'll flash sometimes and look really good, and then he'll have games where it's just like, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
And in that division, when you have, that bad man like Aaron Rodgers, it's just not good enough. I don't think he'll ever take them anywhere. So and then you get guys that like Ryan Tannehill, who seems to have revived his career. A lot of people were thinking he was the bust. When he was in Miami, he goes to Tennessee. He's been playing, lights out. And this is what he's playing good without A.J. Brown, their best receiver. Jonnu Smith, the tight end, he looks real good. We've had a Corey Davis sighting. And we know what Derrick Henry, that big unicorn, brings to the table. So I'm going to say Tennessee in here. I think it's a low-scoring affair. I think 17-7. I'll say 17-7, Tennessee.
Well, yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit higher scoring than that. I think that Henry will run against Minnesota's defense. I think that it's going to be like 21-14, something like that.
Okay.
21-14. I'll stick with that. But I think Tennessee wins.
So moving on to the next game, Chicago at Atlanta. I actually benefited from the Atlanta Falcons. Shout out to my man Ron Thomas. I know you're still a little heated about that. Atlanta, I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen anything like that. And we have a segment coming up later on in the show. Who's going to be the first coach to get fired this year? And after letting the Dallas Cowboys win that game, and the Dallas Cowboys should have lost that game. They should have lost that game. You jump on them 20-0, and you have an opportunity, fall on the football on the onside kick, and you let the ball roll, and you just give them the game. The Cowboys go down, get in the field goal range. Greg Zuerlein kicks the field goal. Cowboys win, and we keep seeing it again and again. You saw in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. They just when the bright lights are on, they just fold. I don't know what it is. And to me, that's coaching. That's coaching. I know high school players that know whenever there's an onside kick. I've seen guys on a play like that, the ball's kind of, rolling on the ground, and they pick it up and run it in for a touchdown. And they stood there like it was a snake on the ground. They're looking at it like, what is this? What is this?
Right.
They could have picked up the ball. The Cowboys got to wait for it to go 10 yards, but as soon as the ball gets, you fall on the ball, game over. Or pick the ball up and run it, because all the Cowboys had ran to the ball. You pick up the ball, it's just a foot race to the end zone, and you mess that up. That's coaching. That's coaching, and that's your culture.
Well, and I'm sorry, but I still think a lot of it is because of this season, this off season. I still think a lot of it's coaching, but I also think a lot of it has to do with no preseason, no actual true training camp. I think a lot of the mistakes that we're seeing that are so simplistic is because of the season, the off season, the year that we've had with the COVID-19 and all that. I think that's why you're seeing these kind of mistakes. I still think Atlanta's going to win this game. I've got Atlanta winning this game like 28-21. Maybe a little less.
I don't think this. I don't think the Bears score that. Look, it was it was bad coaching on there, but I still think Atlanta has one of the better offenses in there. And let me tell you something. Everybody talks about Julio Jones being the man over there. I think we are witnessing the transition from Julio Jones to Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is starting to become that alpha receiver over there, that number one receiver over there. Julio, he another one. Julio, he the ball. He had Tre'Davious. He had Trey Diggs, not Trey White. Trey Diggs beat on the little trick play. Gage throws it perfectly to him, and Julio Jones just drops it. I think we're seeing Calvin Ridley kind of take over there. I honestly think this is Julio Jones' last season with the Falcons.
You do realize Julio's hurt, right?
I do, but what does that have to do with catching the ball? Like you're
well, when
and
you
this is when we
when you can't get to the ball, and determining on. I think that you're making too much mountains out of molehills right now, this early in the season, considering the no preseason, no training camp. I don't think Julio Jones, we know, can catch the football. We know this. We've seen him do this. For him to be missing passes shows me conditioning coach, conditioning all over again. I'm going to keep saying this. I'm going to keep arguing this point that these injuries we're seeing wouldn't be happening, I don't think, if we had our preseason, if we had our, regular, ordinary training camps.
Yeah.
These guys are getting hurt out there playing because they're not in football shape. And no amount of training at home, training with one or two of the players on your team, no amount of that makes up for the actual getting on the field and having your practice against your offense and your defense and your preseason games. Those preseason games have been really missed. We've seen this because during our preseason games, we always have like these 4 preseason games, and you start seeing the injuries happening during the preseason that usually are over with unless they're like, season-ending injuries. And by the time the beginning of the season starts, most of your injury bugs are gone. Unless they're like I said, season-ending injuries. So I think people are not realizing these first 4 or 5 weeks of the season this year, this is our preseason. This is what we're seeing, but we're actually not seeing any of those rookies who've already been cut and sent on their way home. They just didn't cut it because, there was no real training camp to keep these guys there,
Yeah.
And like I said, I think this is totally messed up the whole NFL season. And I'm like you, what you said earlier before we started talking about games. Who is going to be in the playoffs and the Super Bowl is going to be who's the healthiest at the end of the season.
Yeah, war of attrition, definitely.
So
definitely.
We had Cincinnati at Philly, and I'm sorry, my son is an Eagles fan, but I think that Joe Burrow and company go into Philly and beat Philly.
And you know what, Mona? I'm right there with you. Joe Burrows, he's the real deal.
I think they're going to have to do something about that defense. They're going to have to build that defense up.
Well, it's not a quick fix.
No.
But the number one thing that you want to do as a franchise is you gotta find your franchise quarterback. They have their franchise quarterback. They have their franchise running back. I like Joe Mixon, Joe Mixon, Joe Burrows. I think they're gonna play together a long time. They're gonna have to surround him with some more weapons. But
and
this kid,
line to protect him.
An offensive line to protect him because of the division he plays in with the Ravens and the Steelers. They are going to have to surround him with some stuff.
Carson, you can't keep even the Browns out of that equation.
You can't keep the Browns.
Even though the Browns tend to basically peter out at the end of the middle end season, you still got to play that team twice a year. And we know when we walk away the Baltimore Ravens know when they walk away from that game, usually there's 1 or 2 injuries on that team that they didn't have before they played the Cleveland Browns defense.
Yeah.
Because they're mad. They're always angry because guess what? They always look great on paper at the beginning of a season, and then it never transpires onto the field. So, but at being in that division, being a fan of that division, watching these teams play each other twice a year, none of these teams are going to take it easy on Joe Burrow because they don't have any offensive line. I think T.J. Watt, I think Bud Dupree, Hayward, they're gonna torture that kid because that offensive line is bad.
Oh yeah, he's gonna definitely get a trial by fire. But I think he has the mental makeup. He's from Ohio, and the kid he's mentally tough. Very gifted kid. I just think he's going to have to take his bumps and bruises. And on the other side, Carson Wentz. I think we're at the point now. I don't want to use the word bust quite yet. Carson Wentz, I don't know what it is, and I don't know if he needs to get another get a change of scenery, and shout out to my man Dennis Holmes. You know, we go back and forth on this. I don't think Carson Wentz, it's just something about him. I don't know if the team's not responding to him, but I knew the moment that they drafted Jalen Hurts, I was like, they don't have faith in this guy. Right. They don't have faith in him. And people can say whatever. Your actions speak louder than words. For them to take Jalen Hurts in the second round, and you're the number 2 overall pick with the other needs, they had other needs. They could have drafted a guy like Chase Claypool. They could have drafted a guy like Denzel Ward. Denzel Mims. I'm sorry, Denzel Mims, a wide receiver. And they, with all the holes they had last year and the depleted wide receiver core that they had, and in the second round you go and draft a quarterback when you got a number 2 overall pick on there, I thought that said everything. So I'm going with Cincy too. I think it's a close game, but I think Joe Burrow pulls it out. So all of my Buffalo Bills people out there, I know my boy Ethan Tweedy, I know he's probably sitting up here watching, and Ace, Willem Bombard, my guy up there in Buffalo. Well, all my Bills fans out there, I'm gonna say something that's probably you're not gonna like. And I know a lot of you all are sitting out there, and usually when I'm watching the games on Sunday, all of us here in the Rise Up family, we have a chat rooms, and we're in there, we're talking smack, and me and Ace are going at it, and Ethan Tweedy, and you know we're just going at it. And
I don't see any of those guys tonight.
See none of them up here. These guys, they are celebrating. They're going, oh my gosh, Josh Allen threw for 300 yards. Josh Allen threw for 400 yards. And I'm like, guys, it's the Jets. It's the Jets. They have no offense to you know, in that game, he had two turnover, 2 fumbles in the red zone, and you didn't pay for it because the Jets have nobody. They have no receivers. Le'Veon Bell is running behind a trash offensive line.
He's injured too.
There's no more Jamal Adams over there. Any kind of difference maker in the defense. Yes, he still had a 300-yard game because they didn't make you pay. They didn't make you pay for your turnovers. Okay, and look, you don't make the schedule. I get it. You don't get to dictate who you play during the season. But I think this week, I think the Buffalo Bills get a rude awakening. I think they get a rude awakening. I've seen Aaron Donald up close. I know what he does on that defensive line, and I think this week the Buffalo Bills they get a rude awakening. They get a reality check and get brought back down to earth because I hear people just going, "Oh, he's doing this. Look at it. He's doing this. He's doing that." And yet, yes, he looks good against scrub teams that you had a shootout with the Dolphins last week. With the Dolphins, who don't have any.
Whoa, time out. We just discussed this not even 15 minutes ago when we talked about division games are always tougher than they are any other teams you play.
Yeah,
so when the Dolphins play the Cowboys, it's probably not going to be a tough game. Okay. When the Dolphins are playing even maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's not going to be a tough game. Although Miami always gives us a tough game. It's always usually a field goal point away for a win or a loss. So, no, I'm not going to go with that. I'm not going with you on this one. I'm taking Buffalo Bills at home. I think that Josh Allen is absolutely proving that he needed a few more weapons, and he got them in this offseason. And I know what kind of a player Donald is. I'd take him with the Pittsburgh Steelers in a heartbeat. Not a problem. But you still got that offense that has to score against Buffalo Bills defense. And granted, I think the defenses are all kind of lackluster starting out this season. Offenses usually have an advantage. But I don't think the Rams offense is going to have that advantage against the Buffalo Bills defense. So I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills, and I'm going to say the score is going to be 21-16. 21-16 is my guess. And it's in Buffalo too. And I know, there's no crowd, so it's not going to, Bills Mafia is not going to be there to cheer them on. Trust me, Bills Mafia is in the heart and soul of everybody at that stadium at that point.
They'll probably be outside of the stadium jumping on tables. I just think the Rams offense, they haven't. I don't think that the Bills have seen an offense. The Bills have not seen an offense like the Rams. Look, Robert Woods is a good wide receiver. Okay, Cooper Kupp is a good wide receiver, and they have a two-headed monster over there in Darrell Henderson and Malcolm Brown. They can run the football. We've seen the Bills get run on. We've seen them get run on. They got receivers. And I'm telling you who I think the X factor is going to be in this game, and that's going to be Tyler Higbee. I think Tyler Higbee is the X factor in that game. I think Stephon Diggs has a good game. I don't think Jalen Ramsey wants to follow him around. I think Jalen Ramsey's made more for like the Julio Jones, Michael Thomas type big-bodied receiver. When he has to deal with guys with a little bit of speed and quickness and shiftiness, he seems to have problems with that. Michael Gallup burned his ass, and he put on the biggest acting job since Denzel Washington in Training Day. But I mean, we'll see. But I'm
Denzel Washington in Training Day.
What's that?
Wouldn't it remember the Titans?
Hey, I'll take all the Denzel Washington movies.
Me too. I love him.
I love him. So I'm taking the Rams on this. And hey, I'll tell you what: if the Bills go out there and kick the Rams' ass, I will wear a Buffalo Bills baseball cap on the show next week. I will wear it the entire show next week. I will go out on Sunday or Monday morning, and I will go over to the cap shop and I will go get a Buffalo Bills hat and I will rock it. I
cannot wait to see you in that Bills hat next week.
I sure will. Y'all heard it here first. If the Bills kick the Rams' ass, I will rock a Bills baseball cap on the show next week. So moving on, San Francisco, New York Giants. When we started off the show, Ramona, we talked about how devastating the injury bug has been for San Francisco.
Yeah.
And talented football team. Mostert's not going to play. Kittle's been ruled out for this game. Debo Samuel's not going to play in this game. You don't have Solomon Thomas in this game. Nick Bosa's out for the game. Richard Sherman's out for the game.
Who's starting for the Giants? Who's the quarterback for the New York Giants this weekend?
Danny Dimes.
Well, I mean, we knocked him out in the first quarter against the Giants. And they're back up. Wait a minute. I'm confused.
Is Daniel Jones over there? Is Daniel now?
That's right. I was looking at the Denver game. And I'm the backup that Denver Broncos has got.
Yeah,
I was impressed. I'm impressed by that kid.
Well, I think this week for San Francisco, Nick Mullins is going to start this week. All the reports that I read, Nick Mullins is going to start. And I believe Jerick McKinnon is going to start at running back for them. But
this is the Giants' game to take.
Yeah, the Giants, they don't have any excuses here. Daniel Jones, he's shown a lot of promise. They went and they signed Devontae Freeman. They signed Devontae Freeman to a 1-year deal. I think that's a hell of a pickup for them. So he should have fresh legs for this game. I'm taking the Giants in this game. I don't think San Francisco has the horses to really go out there and match up with the Giants. I mean, you look at, you got Devontae Freeman at running back. You got Ingram and Darius Slayton. He's balling out of control. You got Sterling Shepard. San Francisco's going to have their hands full. I'm going to take the Giants on this one. I'm going to say 21-14.
I'm going to take the 49ers, and I think Mullins goes out there and proves why he's a backup. And I'll go with what Tito said. Tito said Mullins tend to throw for 350 and cause a quarterback controversy.
He might be. Every time he's got an opportunity to play, he has done well. And we'll see. But I just think the Giants have too much firepower over there. I think they just got way too much firepower.
Yeah, we'll see.
So moving on, another barn burner over there.
This one is going to be a Snorefest game, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. The Jets. But I'll tell you what. In this game here, just really quickly on this, I really don't want to go too deep in this one here. I'm going to take the Colts on this one here.
I take the Colts because they're at home.
I'm taking the Colts on here, and the name that I want everybody to remember on here is Jonathan Taylor. I think he's already kind of showed out the past ever since Marlon Mack went down. I think they're going to feed him. I think they're going to run this guy. I could see him running for 150 yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns. I think it's going to be the Jonathan Taylor show, and
I think because they're at home.
Yeah. So this one here, I'm going to say 24-10. 24-10. I think even Phillip Rivers looks good in this game. I think Phillip Rivers hits. I think you see the kid Michael Pittman show up this game. Mo Alley Cox, the tight end, and the Jonathan Taylor show.
Yeah. I'll go with that. Like I said, I took Indianapolis because they're at home, and I think Phillip Rivers actually has a good game against the no defense Jets.
Next game, Carolina at the Chargers. Did you see the story of the Chargers team doctor puncturing Tyrod Taylor's lung with a needle?
I didn't.
Yeah, he's out. The dumbass team doctor injured Tyrod Taylor a little bit more, so I think Justin Herbert's going to start this week. Carolina's terrible, man. Carolina is bad. Carolina, and Teddy Bridgewater. I think what we're saying with Teddy Bridgewater is he's another one of those guys. He's a jag. He's one.
I don't think he is. I don't think he is.
You don't think? You don't think he's?
I don't think you had the year that he threw. Granted, he threw 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. I get that. I get it. Okay. But I watched a lot of those Tampa games, and I wasn't not sold on him. I just don't think he's in the right. Carolina is crap.
Yeah,
they're crap. They have McCarthy. What's his name? The running back.
Christian McCaffrey.
I almost said McCarthy. They got McCaffrey. I think he doesn't match up well with the Carolina Panthers. I still think he should have came to Pittsburgh. Damn it.
You think everybody should go to Pittsburgh?
I love Jameis Winston. I love Jameis Winston. I love him. I love him like I like Trubisky.
I'm gonna read some of these comments here. Trust Ravens. Bills won 2 games against Jets and Dolphins by 10 points combined. Next 4 games for the Bills: Rams, Raiders, Titans, Chiefs. Okay, just really quick. Out of those 4 games right there, out of those 4 games that he just said, Rams, Raiders, Titans, Chiefs. How many games did the Bills win it out of those 4? What is their record the next 4 games?
You're asking him, right?
I'm asking you.
What did you ask? What was the question?
Rams, their next 4 games. He's saying the Bills won 2 games against the Jets and Dolphins by 10 points combined. Next 4 games for the Bills: Rams, Raiders, Titans, Chiefs. How many games did the Bills win out of these? What's the Bills' record the next 4 games?
I still think they beat the Rams, but Raiders, where's it at?
I don't know. I'm just saying, when I look at this here, the cupcake schedule's over. Okay? Yeah. I have another little wager that Josh Allen doesn't throw for 300 yards this week. I guarantee, and he damn sure won't throw for 400 yards. Ethan, of course, he's over here cheering for you, Ramona. Preach, Ramona. Rams roll. Rams by 14.
I'm glad you're seeing this, because I am not seeing any kind of text whatsoever from anybody.
And all you gotta wear it. I will. If the Bills win a game, I will go purchase a Buffalo Bills baseball cap. Ethan says, anybody read comments? Well, Ace is saying, here I am on the Alpha Hate Show. He's more accurate than Tyrod. I think he's talking about Herbert. Did I miss the Bills talk? Yeah, you missed it. Yes, Ramona said Bills. Marcus said Rams. Trust Ravens said 1-3. Where are you
watching your feed from, Marcus? I'm just kind of curious. Where are you watching your feed from? Because I'm not seeing any of these comments. None.
I'm watching it right here. I'm watching it right here. Rams versus Raiders. Come on, y'all. Marcus said Bills win. He'll wear a Bills cap the whole show. They can beat the Rams. They're not winning in Vegas. Titans are debatable. They'll lose to Vegas and at Chiefs. KC is tough. They've beaten Titans the last 2 years. Yes, with Marcus Mariota. Raiders. Hey, Ramona, it's in Vegas. When did the Raiders become good? When did the Raiders become good? The Raiders have been decent. Look, 8-8. People put down 8-8 like it's bad. 8-8. Look, most teams, with the way that the parity is in the NFL, when things go good, you're 10-6, 9-7. When things are okay, you go 8-8. And when things go crappy, you go 4-12. And most teams are somewhere there in the middle. And then when you're really, really bad and you just have a bunch of injuries and stuff like that, you're 1-15, 2-14. So I'm taking the Chargers. I'm taking the Chargers in this game. I think that Herbert starts. I think I like Austin Eckler. I like Keenan Allen. I think Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram get after Teddy Bridgewater. I think it's a day. I think the Chargers. I think the Chargers roll in this game.
I do too. I think the Chargers win this game bigly. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's a.
I think Chargers walk in. I think it's going to be a high scoring game though. I still think it'll be like around 31-28.
Yeah, I could see this one being like 28-7, 28-10.
But I think Winston ends up having. Oh no! Wait a minute, Bridgewater. I think Bridgewater ends up having a couple interceptions in this game, but I still think they scored 31-28, something like that.
Okay. We will definitely so moving on to the next game, we got the Bucks at the Broncos. Speaking of another team that's really getting hit really bad with the injury bug, that's the Denver Broncos. A lot of people were expecting them to do really well. They lost Von Miller. He's out for the season. They lost their number one receiver, Cortland Sutton. He's out for the season.
I want to read a comment. Will Lombard says, "Wait, you trash Buffalo at 9-7. Contradictions is real."
No, I'm saying that's not bad. 9-7 is not bad. It's not bad. Like when a team goes 9-7, oh, they went 9-7. It's hard. Look, it's hard to win games in the NFL. Yeah. But if you want to be one of those teams, and I keep telling, and this is replying to Ace. I keep telling you guys, when you want to be one of those teams that are mentioned, the elite teams, you got to go out there and you can't struggle against the Miami Dolphins. You just can't do it. You can't go out there and get gashed by the Cleveland Browns and let Nick Chubb run all down the field on you. You can't do that. If you want to be the team that you say that you are.
Didn't Dallas lose to Washington last year?
No.
I thought Washington came in and beat y'all. Or was it the Giants?
It
was the Giants that came in and beat y'all.
No, we didn't lose to the Giants either.
Well, y'all 8-8.
The only team that we lost to, we lost one game. We lost one game in the division, and that was the Eagles, the last game of the season. We beat the Eagles in the first game. We swept Washington, and we swept the Giants. But if Dak Prescott as a matter of fact, Dak Prescott had an incredible season against the NFC East. It's when he went outside, and our defense couldn't stop anybody. So, like I was saying, if you want to be mentioned as one of the elite teams, you can't sit up there and struggle against the Dolphins and then tell me that you're going to go head to head with the Ravens.
But we also have already discussed this again. I'm going to say it again.
Okay.
It's a division rival. They play twice a year, so they have a little more insight than other teams do against.
And I got you on that. And I got you. But I'm saying every time that you got the opportunity to really step up in the game, you fell flat on your face.
I'm going to take Tampa Bay bigly in Denver.
Me too. I think Brady. Look, the steal of the offseason. Can we say Leonard Fournette going to the Bucs? That was the steal of the offseason. You got him for peanuts. That was all they were ever missing was a good running back. Ronald Jones. He's all right. But you got a 3-down bruiser back that you can feed the ball to and take pressure off Brady, and then he can. They're not even using Gronk, and Mike Evans is balling out of control. Chris Godwin, I think it's a blowout. So
we lost to the Jets last year, though, right?
Yes, we lost to the Jets last year.
Okay, that was the pathetic one. I
Yes, that was terrible. And with that game there, that's whenever I moved to Mexico for a little bit and started me
Start selling cactus.
avocado, my avocado ranch. I still got my avocado ranch over
All
in
right, so
Mexico.
we're going to move to the next game. We got Dallas at Seattle, and I'm sorry, Marcus. I love you, but I think Seattle whips that Dallas butt. I think Russell Wilson is just freaking amazing, and I used to be one of those who, yeah, he's all right. Yeah, he's a serviceable quarterback. Yeah, and I was kidding myself as when I said that, but honestly, what Seattle has done with this team, and they're really not suffering the injuries throughout like the NFL is. I think Seattle wins this game 38-24.
I think
I'm going to give you 24 points. I'm giving you 24 points.
I'm also picking Seattle in this game, but I think it's going to be another shootout like it was with Arizona last week. But I just think Seattle's able to close. They got the player in
Seattle
this game
is much better than Arizona.
the player that scares me to death in this game. That I'm just like, I don't know what we're going to do with him, and that's DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf in this game, all of their receivers, Tyler Lockett. I mean, they could not stop. They could Gage last week with Atlanta, Gage and Calvin Ridley. They could do nothing with Calvin Ridley. And you look at Russell Wilson with his mobility, I think he's able to buy time. But I also think Dallas is going to be able to put up points. I think it's going to be a shootout. I could see it being 35-28. I could see it being something like that. But I'm picking against my Cowboys in this one too. I don't see them winning this game. Can they win the game? I think they could if they. This game here, that needs to be a Zeke game. Play keep away, run the ball. I think if Dallas does that and then take their shots down the field, and I think CeeDee Lamb has a great game here. They'll try to take away Cooper and Gallup, but I think you started to see last week with CeeDee Lamb. Who do you put on CeeDee Lamb? Your nickel corner? I mean, CeeDee Lamb would be a number one on most teams, and he's your number 3. So I think you see CeeDee Lamb have another good game, but I just think Dallas's defense won't be able to do anything with them. So I'm going to take Seattle in that one too.
That's why I said 38-24, because I think that Seattle will way outscore you because of your defense.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to the Detroit Lions at Arizona. I think this is going to – I think Arizona is going to get back at Detroit on that wasn't it last year they played?
I think they had a tie ball. I think it was a tie game.
They had that one tie game.
Yeah, it was a tie.
And I think Arizona. I think it's going to be a high scoring game, though. I really do. I think it's going to be another one of them high scoring, like 31-28 scores.
I don't know if Galladay's playing.
I'm not sold on Arizona's defense. I'm just not sold on Arizona's defense.
What?
I'm not sold on their defense. I'm not. I am saying it over and over. Offensively, Arizona is got a great offense. I am not sold on Arizona's defense. I'm just not. I'm just not sold on them.
Well, I believe
I still like Matthew Stafford. That's the reason why I keep wanting to. I just want the Lions to win a game or at least be close.
Look, we were just talking about the Atlanta Falcons being snake bitten. Here's another team right here that's snake bitten. The Detroit Lions they're a bad organization. They're a bad organization. They've had two of the greatest players at their respective position. When you look at Barry Sanders and you look at Calvin Johnson, they've had two of the greatest players at their position of all time. And they can do nothing with them.
Probably one of the best offensive linemen that I ever seen play was Mike Compton. And he was there during the Barry Sanders days when
Yeah.
Barry was amassing all those yards. And trust me when I tell you, Mike Compton was helping open those holes on that offensive line.
Yeah. I like Lomas
He
Brown.
was
Lomas
so
Brown.
well. Listen,
Lomas-
he did so well that when his contract was up and Detroit was getting ready to offer him a new contract,
Yeah.
that is when the New England Patriots grabbed him fast.
Yeah.
I mean, jerked him on that team real quick. Guy got 2 Super Bowl rings with the Patriots. So
I'm going to read some of these comments. I'm going to read some of these comments here.
I'm taking the Cardinals over the Lions, though.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cardinals too. Let me see. Correction, Chiefs at Bills. Ace, I see Ramsey just ate his words and praises Allen and said it'll be tough. Ethan said in the next 4 games, 3-1. Yeah, I'll take another wager there. Ramsey on a mission, and he just got paid. You'll see. Ace, wait, you trashed Buffalo at 9-7. Oh, you read that one there. Chargers in a route. I like Herbert and Kelly. That's future Chargers. Just have my money, pal. I'm on your tail. I guess he's talking about me. He never want to talk about the Cowboys, and I'm a fan. Look, I'm going to say this again. Rule number 1 of football, okay? Football, you cannot have 2 teams. You cannot have 2 teams. Can't do it, Stephen A. Lombard. You can't have two or 3 teams. He never want to talk about the Cowboys, and I'm a fan, but since he a fan and he hate, I want to talk about the comparisons. Dallas didn't beat a winning team last year. No, we didn't. Then they had playoffs on the line, and they lost to Philly. Yep, I totally agree. And then they got smoked by the Rams in a shootout. Russell's about to do do what Atlanta couldn't. Seahawks by 14. I can see that. DK about the feast. I just said that. I agree. Hopkins about to eat that rookie cornerback. Why are these Thursday night games so bad? No Galladay in this game. So yeah, I just don't see it. Green Bay about to send a message. Green Bay at New Orleans. Look, it happens to all of our heroes, and it hurts. It hurts. You know, when you see one of your favorite players, when you see him just kind of fade. You know, one of the saddest things in my life is when I saw Michael Jordan with the Washington Wizards. It hurt me, you know, because that's not the Michael Jordan that I got used to seeing. When I saw Peyton Manning in that his last season with the Broncos, even though they won the Super Bowl, that's not the Peyton Manning that I watched. And we are seeing the demise of Drew Brees. Drew Brees looks terrible. He looks terrible. He looks 42 years old. Look, football is a young man's game. It just is. And you know, you see some of these guys and
but let's be fair, Aaron Rodgers is not a spring chicken either.
He's 30. Aaron Rodgers is the same age as Ben Roethlisberger. 30,
well, no,
38.
I think he's been in the league a little bit longer than Big Ben.
He got drafted he got drafted a year before Big Ben.
Yeah.
A year before. It was Alex Smith went number 1. Aaron Rodgers went like in the 20s, and then Ben Roethlisberger went like 10 after Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning. They're a year apart, so they're 37, 38. But when you start talking in your 40s as a quarterback in the NFL, I mean, it's just. And then there's no Michael Thomas in this game, so I just think
Adams is out too. I think, isn't he?
Now, Green Bay, I'm reading on here because I have them on a couple of my fantasy teams. I don't think Devontae Adams is playing in this game. But no, Aaron Jones, and then they got other weapons. I like the Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I like Lazard. I think that they show up. I think do you know Aaron Rodgers has not thrown an interception? Or he has not thrown an interception yet. So, yeah. So, I'm going to take Green Bay, even though it is in New Orleans. I don't have any faith in Drew Brees. And do not be surprised if in the next couple of weeks, if Drew Brees keeps struggling, I'm going to tell y'all this now, and you start hearing the Jameis Winston chants. Do not be surprised because he looks really, really bad. So, but I still think Green Bay has enough. I think you see a lot of Aaron Jones in this game. I think they really try to establish the run, and I'm going to take Green Bay. I'll say 28 to 20.
Well, Big Ben's my favorite quarterback, of course. Aaron Rodgers is my second favorite quarterback. And as much as I want to take Green Bay, because I do want to take Green Bay, I can't. I think that. Will Morris says, guess who else hasn't thrown an interception? I'm guessing he's talking about, Josh Allen. But anyway, I'm taking the Saints. I'm going to take the Saints. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be like 28-26 or something like that. But yeah, I'm taking the Saints at home. And I don't want to because I love Aaron Rodgers.
And just to respond to Ace Lombard, he doesn't have any interceptions, but guess who has the most fumbles of any starting quarterback in the NFL? Do you know who that is?
But does he have any this year?
He had two. He had two in the first game in the first quarter.
I don't get to watch every game, so
I'm telling you, Kansas City and Baltimore. I got this as the game of the week.
Yeah,
I think this game right here. I mean, this might be a preview to your AFC Championship this year. When the dust is settled, these two teams are going to have to be reckoned with.
And see, you know what? You had me till you said AFC Championship game.
I said possible.
I think Baltimore could possibly go undefeated. Coming from a Steeler fan, that's so hard for me to say. But I'm also going to say another one and done in the playoffs. I said it last year and everybody said I was full of shit. I said it the year before. Everybody said I was full of shit. Guess what? The last 2 years, they've been one and done. I don't think he gets back. I think Baltimore has the same problem that Dallas did under
Garrett.
The quarterback.
Tony Romo?
Romo. I think they have the Romo effect.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to give you, since you like making predictions, here's my prediction. In week 6, and me and Ace, we were talking about this earlier. In week 6, the Baltimore Ravens will sign Antonio Brown. Okay? Their bye week is week 8. All right? So that gives him 2 weeks. That gives him 2 weeks to do his COVID testing. They sign him in week 6, and then on week 8, they have the bye week. So that gives him 2 weeks to prepare after he's signed. And I'm telling you, Baltimore, it will be, I believe it will be Baltimore versus Kansas City in the AFC Championship. But that's a little bit down the road. This game here.
I'm not sold on the Chiefs either.
You're not sold on the Chiefs?
No. I didn't think they looked that great last week. And I know Will said the same thing. I seen some problems. With.
Well, see. Now here's where the homerism comes in at, and this is right here. Now you said that the Chiefs didn't look good last week. Who did they play last week? The Chargers. Are the Chargers one of their division foes? Yes. Just like.
And I'm just saying, you keep saying and you keep preaching about the Buffalo Bills beating the Miami Dolphins and struggling to beat them, and you're going to sit and try to change it up when you talk about two other teams. Quit being such a Bills hater.
I'm not being a Bills hater.
You know what? I'm starting to see this. I am starting to see how much of a Bills hater you truly are. Josh Allen came to Dallas last year and kicked y'all's ass in Dallas.
That's not saying much. After you look at the way that the Cowboys were last year, that's not saying much.
It's a damn shame. It's a travesty. Stop being a Bills hater, you hater.
I'm not a Bills hater.
I knew he was coming. All right, well, we got a special.
Get your butt in here. Get your butt.
We're going to do our levels to this, and we're going to fly through these really quick.
Okay.
Okay, so here's our special.
But before we move on, Baltimore and Kansas City, who you got? You say you're taking
Baltimore hands down. I think they absolutely kicked the shit out of Kansas City.
okay, and I'm taking the Chiefs, the champions, the defending Super Bowl champions.
I think they beat them like redheaded stepchildren.
So as you know, every week we have my levels to this. There's always level to this. Really quick, jump in here, Dre. Which coach is the most likely to be fired first this season? Adam Gase, Matt Patricia, Bill O'Brien, Dan Quinn. Ready, set, go.
I'm going. I think Bill O'Brien's gone.
Yeah, I think last week after that, I just think it was just the writing was on the wall for him. But I would not be surprised if Bill O'Brien. Although
all four of them need to be gone.
Oh yes, I totally agree.
But I think O'Brien's gone.
And one little caveat. Caldwell, Jim Caldwell. As much as he did for that organization, and they fired him, and I mean he had these guys playing great, and they got rid of him. And Matt Patricia gets this job, and I don't know, it's just kind of a travesty. Adam Gase sucks. If Adam Gase gets another job after this, I'm writing a senator or something. I don't know. Top 5 leaders in receiving yards: Diggs, Calvin Ridley, Edelman, Robbie Anderson, and Hopkins.
I do not think that they will be the top. Well,
who will be?
Could be. They really still could be. Actually, I don't know about Edelman. I think Edelman. I've noticed throughout the last few years he's starting to get more injuries, more injury prone.
He's getting older. I think he's like 30, 32, 33, and for a receiver that is kind of. Robbie Anderson, they're big free agent signing, and Hopkins. I think once he gets up to speed, but the guy who I've been most impressed with is Calvin Ridley. Watching him, I just said it. I think that you're looking at when Julio Jones gets traded or retires, this is going to be their number one receiver. Yeah. You start to see. I mean. They look for this guy in all the situations. I'm really interested. I'm really interested to see Stephon Diggs against Jalen Ramsey this week. I think.
I don't think Ramsey wants any of that.
I don't think so either. Me and Ace, we were talking about this. I think that he's not made to cover him, and I think Stephon Diggs is going to go out there, and if he gets some one-on-one opportunities versus him, I think he's going to. You saw what Michael Gallup did to him in that Cowboys game. I think Stephon Diggs is a little bit better than Michael Gallup, and he ate his lunch. So, which 0-2 team is most likely to bounce back and make the playoffs? Bengals, Dolphins, Jets, Broncos, Falcons.
Can I answer this one next week?
Can you answer it next week?
Well, the reason why out of all these teams I'm looking at, I don't think any of these teams, 0-2 teams, go back except for possibly 2. And I really don't think Philadelphia Eagles are going to even sniff the playoffs this year. But I do think the Texans could. But I want to wait to see what happens when they face that Steelers defense. I want to see how well they're going to do against that Steelers defense.
Okay. Out of all these teams on here, I'm going to say
I'm going with the Texans out of all the teams.
I'm going to say the Falcons. I'm going to say the Falcons. I don't know how far they would go I don't know how far that they would go in there. I could see them sneaking in there and getting that 7. I could very easily see. I think the 49ers are done. Okay. Before I was saying that the NFC West could send 3 teams to the playoffs. I don't believe that no more. I think it's going to be between the Seahawks and the Cardinals. So I believe that there's a division that could send 3 teams, and I think that might be the NFC South. I could see the Saints, the Falcons,
with the extended playoffs. Will, are you remembering? There's going to be 7 teams.
There's going to be a 7 team on there,
right? So
And one little thing here, I really wanted to this when I saw this, it just made me so happy. And Deion Sanders, he's always been one of my favorite players. Stepped down from NFL Network, had a nice cushy job over at NFL Network. Steps down, takes over at HBCU Jackson State, and then goes out and gets a Hall of Fame coaching staff. Like, I mean, you go out and I just like the fact that he's taking guys that had a little bit of trouble in the NFL. Well, it has, had a little bit of controversy. T.O., we know the story of T.O. Warren Sapp, he got kind of like just kicked out for NFL Network for prostitution soliciting prostitution during the Super Bowl one year. But Warren Sapp's one of the greatest defensive linemen to ever play. I think T.O. is one of the top 2 or 3 wide receivers to ever play, if not the best. Him, Randy Moss, and Jerry Rice. And for him to bring these guys in and give them opportunity, you see it a lot in the NBA. You see guys that are players that go back and become coaches and stuff. They get an opportunity. I think Deion's like eyeing something bigger. I could see Deion Sanders maybe coming back, going to Jackson State, making it, he's been coaching high school football. Go over there, put Jackson State on the map. I could very easily see, because of his personality and his swag and his knowledge of the game, I could see Deion taking the long road. He's still in his 50s. He's like in his, I think.
My question is, where does this take this college football team?
Well, I think I like the fact that he went to a HBCU, and there's a lot of good players that came out of HBCUs and smaller, small teams. And I think, like, if you're a kid, you have a teenage son that plays football, and Deion Sanders comes to your door. Deion Sanders or T.O. or Warren Sapp comes to your door and it's like, hey, you know what? We want your son to come play at Jackson State. What damn parent? You got 3 NFL Hall of Famers, Yellow Jackets, coming to, one of them coming to your door telling you that he wants to take your son to their school. And I just think it's awesome. Best of luck to Deion Sanders and T.O. and Sapp. And I hope y'all have a great season over there. I don't know if they're playing this year. I don't know if they're playing this year. This may be something I don't know with the COVID if Jackson State is playing like that. A lot of times the HBCUs, they're mostly known for their bands, but I think Deion Sanders can turn it around. I can see him maybe one day going to Florida State, taking over there, or even coming back to the NFL and coaching the team after he gets some, a little bit more experience. So good, best of luck to Deion Sanders.
Okay, so now we Marcus came up with a new segment, a special segment of our show, in which we are going to be talking about this guy right here. Bills quarterback Josh Allen is leading the league in passing, but the question remains, can he keep it up? Will he be leading the league in passing at the end of the season? Now,
I'm going to answer it.
We're going to bump heads on this because I absolutely think by the end of the season, he is up there with Mahomes, Jackson. I do. I think he will be. I think if Diggs stays healthy and the receiving core stays healthy for the Buffalo Bills, I absolutely think that he can absolutely stay up there.
There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's absolutely.
All right.
Look.
So, Buffalo Bills fans who are watching the show right now, this is your opportunity now. This is your opportunity to get with Marcus and make that bet on whether he finishes better than Dak Prescott for the season.
What?
Or not. I mean, we're all seeing something that we never thought we were gonna see. Hey, Marcus, I'm trying to help you, man.
I will take all comers on that. If you think that Josh Allen leads the league, I'm saying leads the league in pass. It's 2 games, guys. It's 2 games against 2 terrible teams.
I was doing this for my Bills fan buddies, okay? I was doing this for my Bills fan
There's no
buddies.
way. There's no way.
What about Dak Prescott? Can he have a better passer rating than Dak at the end of the season?
He's not going to have Dak Prescott threw for 4,900 yards last year. I think the most that Josh Allen's ever passed for is like 3,000 yards. 3,000 yards. And in the next and I just showed you his next 4 games. His next 4 games, okay?
Which means he's going to have to throw the ball.
Which means he has to throw the ball more. Which means if he has to throw the ball more, there's more of a chance that he throws interceptions or gives the ball away. The best bet for Josh Allen, in my opinion, and this just from watching him play, because I sit up there and I honestly watch him play. 25 throws a game. That needs to be the ceiling for him. If he's throwing it 30, 35, 40 times a game, that's not good. That's not good. So
okay.
No.
All right, we're gonna move on. I just had to make that a little bit of fun there. We have a special segment, the Rocky Bleier Tough Guy Award that we try to give out on every show. And I was really kind of undecided on this week's Tough Guy Award, but so basically I just kind of left it up to Marcus Betts, and I wanted all the Buffalo Bills fans who are still watching the show to know that Marcus actually got to choose the Rocky Bleier Tough Guy Award, and I'm going to let him tell you who he chose.
I'm gonna surprise a lot of you guys.
No, you're gonna make some of them fall on the floor.
For the Rocky Bleier Tough Guy Award for this week, Ramona gave me the opportunity. This is normally her segment, but I got to pick this week. And for the Rocky Bleier Tough Guy Award this week, I will give the Rocky Bleier Award to 1, Josh Allen. The way he played last week, I saw him running over people. I think that I like to see him running with the ball. He's not Cam Newton as far as running the ball, but he's the next best thing as far as like a quarterback punishing defenses when he runs the ball. So I'm going to give the Rocky Bleier Tough Guy Award this week to Josh Allen. So there you go, Bills fans.
All right, now come on, Bills fans, pick yourself up off the floor. Get back to your keyboard.
The Rocky Bleier Tough Guy Award goes to Josh Allen this week. I had it. It was very close for me. I had it between him and Joe Burrow for what I saw the punishment that Joe Burrow put. But I'm going to give it to Josh Allen this week. See what he does. Now, understand this. If he goes out there against the Rams this week and looks like crap, before I get him, probably Dennis Holmes going to have him on his trash ass players on Tuesday on Talk Your Ish, and then on Friday I'm going to get his ass. So y'all better hope your boy goes out there with Aaron Donald breathing down his neck. You better hope he does something. But for this week, Josh Allen, Rocky Bleier Tough Guy Award.
And I will go along with that. I still myself would have taken TJ Watt because of his performance last week, but the Josh Allen, I actually looked that play up. Just so you know, Marcus, I looked that play up because I didn't get to watch the Bills game.
Oh man,
last weekend. I was like, holy crap, this guy is like, he's just killing that defense.
It looked like that play where your boy Vance McDonald, where he stiff-armed that guy on the. I was like,
stiff-armed a couple of guys in that one run.
Yeah, it looked a lot like that. So I thought that was pretty impressive, and for a quarterback doing that. So yeah, I got to give it to him. So, I think that's it.
That's it. That's our show.
Thank you, everybody. Ramona, you got any last words before I give the last words? You got any last words for these guys?
I think our game of the week will definitely be the Monday night game, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens. The reason why I gave the Baltimore Ravens the edge on that game was because it is in Baltimore, and with the way Baltimore has been playing, and granted, I know we still don't have the crowd effects and that kind of stuff, but I just think that Baltimore at home, Chiefs don't always play real well against the AFC North teams. They just don't. So I just think that Baltimore just makes them look like, I'm trying to think. I'm going to go with, who was it Tampa Bay beat last weekend?
Who did Tampa beat last week?
Yeah, and they beat them pretty bad.
I forget who. I forget.
I think they're gonna give the Chiefs a reality check.
Okay.
I think they received that reality check from the Baltimore Ravens this weekend. As a Steeler fan, I love the rivalries that we have with Baltimore, but I'm going to tell you something. As a Steeler fan, I ain't gonna lie, I'm worried about that game. I am worried about that game. I just defensively, I think we can stick with you. I worry because our offensive line, we've got a couple of injuries on that O line, and what your defense might actually be able to do to Big Ben. That scares me. So,
well, guys,
but other than that, thank you all for showing up. Appreciate you guys. You guys are the reason why we do these shows. That, and Marcus and I like to run our mouths too. So, but I'll turn it over to
pretty much. Appreciate you guys once again. Thank you for tuning in. If you missed the show, make sure you check it out. Check it out later. You don't have to see it right now. Go back and check it out. We appreciate you guys. Enjoy the games. It's nothing but respect out here, guys. I love you guys. I respect you guys.
Oh, Marcus, check this out. I gotta show you something real quick. I do want to show y'all something. Check this screensaver out. You see that?
I can't see anything.
Oh, hold on. Okay, here it is. Here it is. All right. You see that screen?
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Somebody sent that to you?
Yeah, you did.
That's pretty.
And I appreciate that so much. Game of Thrones, man. I love it.
I saw that. I was just like, that's really cool.
Got Jackson and Burrow and Mayfield sitting there, and Ben sitting on the throne, and they're all just sitting there biding their time to dethrone the king.
It's not your time yet. It's not your time yet, young pups.
Yeah.
But thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. Enjoy the games this week. Please be safe. I know they're allowing some people to go to the stadiums, to some of the stadiums. I don't know if they're allowing you guys to go to the Buffalo Stadium. I know Ace. I've seen him. He's actually called me while he's in the stadium, outside of the stadium. Make sure y'all are wearing a mask. Please be safe out there, and we will see y'all next week. Y'all have a great night, and God bless. All right. See you next week.
Love you guys.